So I'm live with all mics now. Okay.
Hey everyone. Okay, so we're live.
Yeah.
Let me see who's on.
Now you ready?
So watch what you say.
This would be very different for us if we're going to.
People love it.
People love the behind the scenes.
That's right.
Are you kidding me?
Reality shows.
Heck yeah.
All right. You ready to do a radio show?
Sure.
Now, Behind the Law with Justin Clark and Allie Mack on ESPN 580 Orlando.
And welcome to the program. It's another edition of Behind the Law right here on ESPN 580 Orlando. Thank you for spending your evenings here with us on our favorite sports radio station. You can also watch the show every single weekday about 4 o'clock p.m. on Facebook, Instagram, whatever, at Behind the Law Radio. Also, don't forget to watch the TV program. It's Behind the Law on television this Sunday and every Sunday, 10 a.m. on TV 27. Brianna, what night is it, first of all, right now?
Right now it's Tuesday
night. I just wanted to make sure. So,
Taco Tuesday.
look, ladies and gentlemen, I am well aware of what happened on this program last night when I made the big announcement that it was Orlando Magic Monday and wished the Magic a good game. And I also said they played well the Friday before. Yeah. Look, I just have my days mixed up, all right? I realized that they won game one on Saturday, not Friday, and I'm well aware. Thank you for all of your commentary. That they did not play last night. I just thought they played on Monday night. I don't know why. I'm an idiot.
I thought they played Monday night too. So we were surfing the internet, well, the
Probably
channels.
Because I told everyone in town here on the show that they were playing Monday night.
He said it was.
I heard
Monday.
it. I heard someone told me.
It was probably me. But anyway, we're wishing you guys a great game tonight. Hopefully, you can bring home a second victory up in Toronto. We the North, or whatever they say up there. But it's not looking so good. I don't think there's any way we go up to Toronto and take 2 of the first 2. But that would be an amazing feat, you know?
I'm going to be more of a positive person when it comes to that. I think we do take the second one.
Yeah.
That's my prediction.
I don't know.
I'm with Allie. I'm with Allie here.
Very special show for you today. We're going to do what's going on with Allie Mack. We'll also play Stump the Clarkie in the second half hour, and also throughout the show we'll have a very exciting interview with attorney Gretchen Ortiz. So if you have any personal injury issues, family law issues, title issues.
No family law.
No family law.
No family law.
Okay. Look, I assure you, Gretchen, I did not make that up before. Someone informed me that you handle family. Who said? Was that you, Ellie?
It might have been me.
Real estate.
So just so you know, it's not like I just dreamed.
Real
I didn't
estate.
just dream that you do family law. Someone told me that. So
Hey.
I apologize. So real estate, personal injury.
Real estate.
We'll be talking to
corporate.
Gretchen
Business,
Ortiz.
contracts, personal injury, wrongful death, medical malpractice.
We also talked yesterday about this big pizza party that they're having in Orlando. Brianna did it during the news, and I was super annoyed, but it made me think about pizza a little bit. And it just, ironically today, I had a business lunch with a friend of mine, and we went to a pizza place. And so it was a place I know well. I've been there many times, but we were talking about whether you eat pizza with a fork and a knife or not. So I am a guy who, generally speaking, eats pizza with a fork and a knife. I realize this is a terrible thing for a lot of you.
You are?
Taboo.
But today I got to thinking about it because I was eating lunch with the guy. Pretty small table. So, I mean, you kind of see what the other one's having there. And I was eating with a fork and a knife, but I was very self-conscious. I was like, is he looking at me? Is he judging me?
Was he also with the knife? The fork and knife
he had chicken wings.
Smart.
But he didn't eat those with the fork and knife, or I would have been looking at him like he was weird. You know what I mean?
Now, if you weren't in a meeting, would you still be eating with a fork and a knife?
Oh, absolutely. I'm
What?
Yeah.
No.
I wasn't doing it to be proper. I was doing it because that's normally how I eat pizza.
Something's wrong.
See, for me, it depends. If I'm at home, no fork, no knife.
Yeah?
At a restaurant, I might.
Yeah.
That
Even
goes for me
home,
too.
even at home, I like to at least use a fork. I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah.
I
don't want to get my hands dirty.
I'm gonna judge
I don't know
you
what
on that.
it is.
That's weird.
It's fine. So I thought so, but I was a little self-conscious of that. But I don't care. I went ahead and ate just how I wanted to eat it. It doesn't matter. So it is time for what's going on.
If it's on the internet, she's talking about it. It's what's going on with Allie Mack.
What's going on? What's going on?
It's me. Okay, well, of course I was going to bring up the Magic and them being on the playoffs. And tonight they play the Toronto Raptors. So definitely we're going to watch that. And hopefully we'll have a win this evening as well. So I think that if they do win, we should all wear a Orlando Magic blue on our next show.
All right, I'm in.
How about
and
that?
we have a Magic hat here, of course, too. So we're always Magic fans.
We are, but I think we need to give them good vibes and kind of send good energy. And if they don't win, that's okay.
All right.
We just won't wear the clothes, but the next day we'll wear if they win. So another thing, did you guys see Tiger Woods?
Of course.
Yes.
It was
Sunday.
phenomenal, the Masters.
Did you watch or no? Brianna did not.
Watched.
Okay.
We were on the seat. We were on the edge of our seats, and back maybe 5-10 years ago, there's no way we would watch golf. No way we would have watched golf. Why? Because it's boring. What kind of sport? It's not athletic. But here in the last year, me and my husband have gotten so into golf that we were actually watching, and every time that they would hit, we would be like, like on the edge of our seats, and we found ourselves like looking at each other going like, is this really happening?
Gretchen, I'll give you one guess why Allie McCarroll watches golf now. Do you want to take one stab at it? You only get one guess. I know the answer to this question. She might not admit it. It's because of Top
for
Golf.
girls, it's great advertising.
No, it's because of Top Golf. Top Golf has brought all these new golf fans because you go to this driving range. That's like don't get me wrong, it's a cool ass driving range. But you go to this driving range that they sell booze and you hang out and watch sports. It's like a bar. Top Golf.
Is it the one in Lake Nona?
Yeah,
Drive
that
One in Lake Nona, but there's one over in by International Drive.
Yeah, and they're building one in Lake Mary too.
I'm
There's two of them. It's like Drive Shack's one and Top Golf's the other. Same idea, same concept. But I think it's brought some more golf fans into the loop. But
I think definitely.
Well, they sell drinks.
More.
That's another
Well,
Why are
I
you
actually
pointing at her?
like the game of golf.
Oh.
I actually like it, and kind of trying to form my own technique is what I'm striving for. And yes, the drinks are fine, but you can get that with any sport that you go
That's
into.
right.
So, I think it was watching Tiger Woods, throughout his career, not necessarily watching every single one of his games, but he's always on on the media, whether it's good or bad or whatever, watching him and also watching him play, kind of giving, it's like his comeback, game. And it's been first major title in 14 years. I'm sorry, first major title in 11 years. And, last time he won the Masters was in 2002.
So Tiger, when all this happened, when he got chased around the neighborhood, with the golf club by his wife.
With the golf club.
And
Going back to golf,
we
right?
all remember that story. But when, so obviously it came out that he was having relationships with several
nanny.
other women.
Oh, no. Oh, that's true.
Like the waitress at Perkins, like, they're all sorts. They ran the gamut. And then, a lot of people really lost a lot of respect. I imagine a lot of women lost a lot of respect as well because he was a cheater. But now everyone loves him again. I mean, have you guys forgiven
being
him
a cheater
as women?
and a professional are two separate things. Yeah. I mean, the fact that he was cheating has nothing to do with his ability and his professionalism in the game he plays. He's a wonderful player.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you can...
I think it's not me. It's not a question for me to forgive him because I don't know him.
Okay.
But I think as a person, we all make mistakes,
That's
and
right.
we all shouldn't. We shouldn't be judged by just one mistake that we did. Now, granted, there's no relationship there, so I don't really have that kind of say in it. But as a player, as a public figure, I think I still like him. I never stopped liking him. I was a little salty at first, but that quickly, went away.
So he 100% forgiven. This Tiger Woods.
there's
All
no-
right,
I mean,
like
there's no forgiving. I don't have to forgive
we're
anything.
cool.
We're cool.
I'm not salty.
Okay.
I mean, everybody has their flaws.
Right.
That was his.
And then a fire broke down, guys, in the famous Notre Dame Cathedral in
That's
Paris.
that made me
Saw
cry.
that.
So that is horrible, horrible, horrible here. And apparently they were doing some renovations. This is what the media says. Apparently they were doing some renovations, and something there might have started or ignited something. But conspiracy theorists, which I am one of them, say that it was due to some kind of terrorist act.
Well, did you hear that at the same
don't
time
know.
this was happening in Jerusalem, one of their mosque was also on fire?
Really? No, I didn't hear that. I mean, I did hear that there was an attack planned years ago against the Notre Dame Cathedral, as you probably have heard, by ISIS. But then when this one popped up, terrorism never really came up, or I haven't heard much about it.
No, I did. I guess just some people over in social media and stuff. And I haven't heard anything, in CNN or any of the big companies.
Well,
the news
it's not
corporations,
ever true until you find it on social media or Wikipedia.
You're 100% accurate on that.
Isn't that right?
Or if you hear it on this show, folks. That's
321-282-1055. It is Behind the Law, ESPN 5 Orlando. Very special interview with attorney Gretchen Ortiz. We're going to talk personal injury. and real estate, all on the other side of this break. It's Behind the Law.
Yay. So that was horrible. So people are posting, if you saw...
Okay, now you're back on the air, on the internet.
Do I need to wear these? Because it's...
You don't have to.
Look, Jay, say, we got this, Magic. Hopefully
Yeah. No, you don't have to necessarily wear those.
Yeah,
We are
They're
definitely
terrible.
going to pull a victory.
Who said that? We are going to pull a victory out? Okay. We'll see.
No, be more positive.
All right, you ready to go?
If we lose, it's your fault.
Yes, let's do it.
Oh, so much better.
Now back to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
Welcome back to the program. It's Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. My name is Justin Clark. I've got Allie Mack to my left. The beautiful Brianna is to my right. Very special guest tonight, Gretchen Ortiz. She's an attorney here in Central Florida handling personal injury and real estate. Gretchen, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Justin.
So how in the world did you decide one day, I want to be a lawyer?
So two main events occurred. When I was very young, I got into a car accident myself personally, and I was with my family and my two children, which at the time they were 1.5 and almost 3. And it was a horrific crash, and my son was actually unconscious.
Ugh.
And I thought we were going to lose him. And so at that time, when that happened, we rushed to the hospital. He was rushed in helicopter to the hospital. And when we got there, I felt very confused. I didn't know what was happening. I was injured myself, but because of the adrenaline, everything that was going on, and I was paying attention to what was going on with my kids and my significant other. I didn't take a look at my injuries. I didn't take a look at myself. I was just worrying about them. But I was very confused, and I didn't know what had happened. It was, it was so fast, so quick. And I just remember when the airbag came out, and just a black cloud came over me, and I just couldn't see anything. Thankfully, my son survived the crash, although he had serious injuries. But at that time, I felt confused, and I called a couple of attorneys, and I was guided through the process, through the personal injury process of, you have to file with the insurance, and you have to do this, and you have to do that. But I didn't feel any empathy from the attorney itself towards what I was going through. I mean, I was scared, I was injured, my family was injured, I had almost lost my child, my daughter, both legs were broken, completely broken, and so I felt like he didn't empathize with me at that moment. Like, I didn't feel any compassion at that moment from that attorney towards me with what I was going through. And so although I understood the legal aspect of what he was explaining, I didn't feel like I had a chance to be heard, and I didn't feel like he connected with me on a personal level. And so that was one of the reasons. The second reason was because my significant other was diagnosed with a stage 4 cancer after multiple misdiagnoses. So, we kept going back to the hospital. They kept telling us it was just a muscle spasm. And by the time they caught it, it was at a stage 4. I was given a letter, he's going to die. A priest came into the room and started praying for me and kind of getting me ready for what was coming. Thankfully, it didn't get there.
Oh, wow.
However, I do remember that as he was getting his chemotherapies in the hospital, because they had to do it right then and there because of how affected he was. I do remember other people in the same boat. They didn't understand what was going on, and they were confused. They would come up to me and say, "Hey, I'm going through the same thing you're going through," because that floor was for cancer patients. And so they would tell me, we had been coming to the hospital, we had been going to the doctor for a while, and we had been telling them exactly what's going on, and we just kept getting misdiagnosis. And when they found it, this is what happened. Unfortunately, most of those people died. And so at at that moment, it was the moment that I said, I need to help these people. I felt it. I went through it myself. I knew how it felt. So I knew how it feels, how to lose a child, to almost lose a child in a car accident. I know how it feels to have, to almost lose a loved one to a misdiagnosis. I know how that feels. And so I said, I'm going to go to law school. I'm going to do this. And I'm going to be different because I will be able to provide my clients with a connection. I'm going to empathize with them. I'm going to listen to them, regardless of the outcome. We don't even talk about the outcome. I first listen to my clients, listen to what they have to say. If they have to cry, they cry. I hug them. I'm a human being.
Yeah.
So, attorney, that's a title. I'm still a human. And so at the end of the day, I let them talk, and regardless of the outcome, regardless of the amount of money, just like I felt at that time that wasn't going to bring me peace. It's not going to bring them peace at that moment, but what will bring them peace is knowing that somebody's there to guide them through the process.
Yeah. We deal with a lot of financial problems here at our firm. People going through bankruptcy, IRS problems, whatever. Other than your real health, your financial health is kind of number two in a lot of ways.
Correct.
So we have to have really serious empathy with them as well. I grew up, relatively poor, so it was already ingrained in my brain, but you always hear about doctors and their bedside manner, but you don't really hear as much about lawyers and their bedside manner. That's important in our industry as well, isn't it?
Right. Yes,
It is.
very important.
Yeah.
And so a lot of my clients come from big firms, and they tell me, I would never get my attorney on the phone. I was never able to speak to my attorney, and I am so glad that I'm able to get you on the phone, and I'm able to speak to you, and you listen to me, and you understand, and I fight, and I furiously for their rights, to protect their rights. And so it's not so much as a matter of money. If there's money is involved, yes, but it's a matter of understanding what they're going through. They're hurt, or our family member is hurt. It's a serious injuries. This is not something to be taken lightly. And there's many personal injuries lawyer out there, and great ones. I'm not going to say there's not, but do they connect? Do they empathize with you? Do they understand what you're going through? I went through those two things myself in my own life.
So then you went back to school after already having a family and things. How did that go for you?
Yes, well, I had been in real estate for 20 years, and I have a bachelor's in finance and a master's in finance. And so I said, I'm going to go to law school and do this because this is what I'm passionate about. I love helping others. And the thing is that as a real estate, I had my real estate title company back then, and I had other businesses. I'm a businesswoman. I had other businesses. And people will come to me, even though I wasn't an attorney, to ask me, is this normal? My attorneys do it. Is that normal? And I'm like, I'm not an attorney,
How long have you been an attorney, and how long have you been in
since 2015
Brevard County?
In Orange County for over 30 years.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Very cool.
What's the difference? You're listening to Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. Justin Clark, Allie Mack, the beautiful Brianna. We're talking to attorney Gretchen Ortiz. Let's say let's say I have a minor motor vehicle accident, and I do hire one of the bigger firms. Who am I likely to be talking to throughout the case? Am I going to talk to the lawyer? Am I going to talk to the legal assistant?
No.
Who am I really dealing with normally?
Normally, you'll go through an intake department. They'll screen the case. Then from there, they'll send an investigator out to you to see if there is a case. Order insurance information. If they have a case, they'll proceed. And if they don't have a case, they'll send you a letter and say, thank you very much, and we're done. And, you can find another attorney, and these are the statute of limitations. That's not how we handle our cases.
How do you handle them?
When you call our office, you speak to my assistant first. She'll do the intake, and then from there you get to speak to me. Because regardless of what happens, I want to know. I want to hear you.
Right.
I want to listen to my clients.
Gotcha. So, any idea what a caseload is for a lawyer at one of these big cases? Are they handling like hundreds and hundreds at a time, or what?
But they also have hundreds and hundreds of attorneys.
Yeah.
And so when I get clients that tell me that they haven't talked to their attorneys in months or sometimes even in years, and their case is still going, I have to ask myself, yes, it's a big firm, but they also have a lot of attorneys.
Right.
So.
What do you see you work in real estate as well. How do you see the real estate market going throughout the rest of 2019?
How did I not know you were going to ask me that question?
We all want to know.
Well, in my opinion, and this is my personal opinion, I know a lot of people are talking about a recession and that prices are going to drop. I don't see it that way. I think my opinion is that we're going to hit a plateau. And so it's just kind of going to flatline for a while, and then we'll see prices going back up.
It's always very sad to me when I see a client come in the office who has had some sort of automobile accident, like the one you described earlier, and then you get the report back from the insurance company. You're like, I hate to tell you, there's no insurance there whatsoever. I think, generally speaking, we believe that everyone here has to have insurance, and they just don't have to have BI. What is a way for me to protect myself and my family from getting hit by someone who doesn't have insurance? Is there something I can buy on my policy, like other coverage?
Motorist.
Yeah, tell me about that a little bit.
Uninsured motorist, which will cover you for those people that unfortunately they don't buy insurance, although it is required in the state of Florida. So that's one of the things that they can do.
And how does UM or uninsured motorist coverage really work? I mean, it steps in, or what happens?
It kind of steps in and it pays you for the person that.
Gotcha. And how do you find uninsured motorist insurance companies? Do you find them to be super cheap, like they don't pay out very well, or are they pretty good and cover their people?
It all depends. It all depends which insurance company you choose.
You want to name names?
Name drop, girl. Just name drop.
Name drop. I personally like working with Geico. I think they have a great uninsured motorist policy.
Really?
I like insurance.
Yeah.
They merge with Allstate and State Farm. Those three, I would say.
Like they're the cheapest policies?
Well, they're not the cheapest. They're not the cheapest. I mean, Geico does have good prices, so I'm name dropping here.
But you're not a spokesperson.
I mean, you all seen it. Say 15% or more. I mean, I'm not saying anything.
Pretty obvious. Gretchen Ortiz, a shareholder with Geico. Because I've never heard anyone on the show actually say that. But we plenty more ahead, and we'll play Stump the Clarky right on the other side of this break. It's an Orlando Magic Tuesday. Not Monday. I heard your complaints last night. I got your complaints. I'm sorry. I thought the Magic. I was just so excited. I thought the Magic were playing last night.
You got me excited, Justin, when I heard it.
Yeah, plenty more ahead. We'll be right back with you on ESPN 580 Orlando. Okay, you're back on the air.
So are you going to be able to hit any games?
I haven't been to a game yet. That's why I want to cut it off. I haven't been to a game yet this year. I mean, I just go home. I got little kids. It's so hard.
Are you going to go?
We want to go to a game before this season. Well, before
I was thinking about getting a...
lose.
I was thinking about getting a suite for the office, you know? And then I took a vote at the
Oh,
office.
that would
We
be
always do
awesome.
this all thing at the Kaiser, you know, the Kaiser.
Oh my God, my husband's company does the same freaking thing. Nobody wants to wear
And
their
everyone
bathing
said they would
suits.
rather do a Kaiser than get a suite.
Well,
Because everyone
compared
has
to
the
the two, I think it's
It's cheap.
I would probably pick the same only because over there it's just you can't have different.
Yeah.
It's just my husband's company does the same thing.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, you ready?
June.
Everyone's like, they're going to lose, so why are we going to get sweet? That's the belief.
Now back to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
Welcome back to the show. It is Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. My name is Justin Clark. I've got Allie Mack to my left, the beautiful Brianna's to my right. Very special guest in the studio with us tonight, attorney Gretchen Ortiz. Gretchen, by the way, I don't think we got your website, phone number, that sort of thing.
So phone number 407-627-1797, and my website is www.gretchenortizlaw.com.
So we're going to play a little game now. It's called Stump the Clark. If you want to play along at home, follow us at Behind the Law Radio on Facebook, Instagram, any social media platform, and you can play with us right there. Just enter your answers in, and Gretchen, don't worry. Brianna always likes to choose a category that is very well known to our guests. So I imagine it's going to be something that you're familiar with. But here's the trick today. I'm also a lawyer. So it's going to be really hard. It's going to be really hard for her to stump the Clarky today. But let's give it a shot.
All right, and now it's time for Stump the Clarky. Come on, Clarky. We need you to get over here. We got some great trivia questions we want you to answer. Come on, Clarky. Get over here.
What is the category tonight, Brianna?
Well, of course, it is all about law.
Hey!
Shocker.
Shock,
ready?
shock.
I'm ready.
I have a love-hate relationship with law.
You do?
A little bit. A little bit.
Love it on the weekdays, hate it on the
It
weekends.
just depends. No, I love
the other
everything
way
on the
around?
weekends.
Oh.
During the weekday,
I
sometimes.
thought it was just me.
No, come on. It's always a love-hate relationship with our business. All right, if you want to play along, go to @BehindTheLaw Radio. Brianna, category is law.
Yeah, because I went through Gretchen's website and I pulled out the different areas of practice. So each question's a little bit different.
Okay.
Oh, God.
So we're not going to have any family law stuff, I presume.
No family law.
Question number 1 for a Tuesday Magic edition of Behind the Law. Go ahead.
Question number 1. How many EB-5 visas does the U.S. issue for investors each year? How many EB-5 visas does the U.S. issue for investors each year?
Is it a high number or a low number?
She wrote no number.
I'm getting ready to write the number
She's like, it's
because I know it's recently changed.
she has to get her wrist together. She's like,
Yep.
yeah.
All right. We don't have all night,
Let me
ladies.
write it down.
Go ahead.
Someone's gonna win.
Question number 2, Brianna.
Question number 2. What percentage of personal injury cases are settled pre-trial? What percentage of personal injury cases are settled pre-trial?
It's going to be a higher number than you think, ladies and gentlemen.
That is
Little bit.
correct.
Going to trial typically doesn't help anybody. You know, sometimes you have to, but typically going to trial is just a way for the insurance defense attorney to make a lot of money.
Thank you for that massive hint,
Que-
Justin.
Question number
Not
3.
50. Gotta erase that
Question number 3.
Question number 3. How many people die nationwide due to accidents? Auto accidents.
Per
How many people die nationwide? Oh, per day.
per day.
Per day.
Per
sorry.
day.
Are you sure this is per day?
How many people die nationwide, per day
one day.
due to auto accidents?
I have the answer.
Gretchen, text me. Send me the answers.
Hey, we're gonna have fun. This is about having fun, right?
Yeah.
Nationwide, not the state of Florida.
All right. It's huh?
I said nationwide, not the state of Florida.
Okay.
I'm sorry, was that your lifeline, Justin?
No, it wasn't. I didn't ask for any help.
Are you
No,
peeking?
I've
Are
actually
you
never seen-
peeking?
in fact-
Justin, are you peeking?
In fact, I'm going to go back to my original answer. It's obviously wrong.
he peeked.
She just said in the state of Florida, not, or no, she said nationwide, not in the state of
Nationwide,
Florida, like
See,
my
she
answers.
confused me, but I didn't change
All
my
right,
answer.
anyway.
Way too low.
All right, one final question ahead. Question number 4 for Stump the Clarkie.
Question number 4. What percentage of Americans lack a will or estate plan?
Wow.
What percentage of Americans... Thank you, Justin. Percentage of Americans lack a will or estate plan? We do not accept a lot
Alright.
as an answer, especially when we're asking
So
for a
we can't
percentage.
answer this lawyerly, remember?
Yeah, exactly. All right, you guys ready to score this game? It is ESPN 580 Orlando. Justin Clark. It's Behind the Law. If you have any questions, 321-282-1055. You can also watch the show at Behind the Law Radio. Let's score this game. Brianna, what was question number 1?
Question number 1. How many EB-5 visas does the U.S. issue for investors each year?
All right, we'll go with our guest, attorney Gretchen Ortiz first. What did you say?
I said 500.
500. I don't know what's so... You know it would be funny if Allie
It's
Mack...
lawyerly. It's lawyerly.
Yeah.
It could be greater than or less
Yeah.
than, but I just want to be safe,
Okay.
you know? I don't want to have anything on my...
It's not the Price is Right. Allie Mack,
That's right.
what did you
It's
have?
I
lawyerly.
said 100.
100. Wow, I must have gone too high. I went with 27,000.
Wow.
Wow.
What is the right answer, Brianna?
All right, that'll be 10,000.
10,000. So I am.
You're
There,
definitely...
that was a pretty good guess. Gretchen Ortiz gets the
actually
point
does.
there, right? I think so.
Does.
So it's 1-0-0 going into question number 2, which was
What percentage of personal injury cases are settled pre-trial?
Allie McCarroll. What did you have?
I say 85%.
85%. Justin Clark here, yours truly. I went with 90%. I know it's a pretty high number, but most things do settle. Attorney Gretchen Ortiz,
90%.
90%. We go with the same answer. All right, what is the right answer, Brianna?
95%.
95%. All right, so we'll share that point, but that puts Gretchen ahead 2-1
0.5.
to 0. Sorry, I hate to say 0. Oh, by the way, were you here the other day? I got skunked.
Yes.
Someone beat me 4-0. Who was that?
John
Jack.
Hughes. beat
Oh
you.
yeah, because he's a runner.
Yeah.
I'm like I don't really know that much about
He
running.
cleaned up.
I'll go. I mean, we can play basketball or something, but I don't know much about like running down the street.
Ran away with
I'm
that
going
win.
to Track Shack tomorrow
Awesome.
for the race that here. Well, for
Oh,
the
that's
jogging
great.
and even
Oh, is that
weekends.
tomorrow
It's right
night?
by my house every
okay.
Wednesday.
Can we please give a plug for that? Because I really like that guy.
Really,
first of all,
really
so it's the
cool.
IOA. When is that
Well,
tomorrow?
no,
night?
No,
Track
that was
Shack?
on Sunday.
Oh,
Yeah, that was on Sunday. But Track Shack has a weekly kind of jog
Oh,
for all the
okay.
members or community every Wednesday at 6:30.
so you're allegedly doing that tomorrow.
I had 10,000 steps in 4
Okay.
hours on my Fitbit. Have
a
you
good
joined
way.
my
It's a
Fitbit
good
challenge?
way.
Have you joined the Fitbit
No,
challenge?
I don't know how to join the Fitbit challenge.
Do you have a? I know you said you have a Fitbit.
I do. It's somewhere in my house.
Oh my
And
goodness!
you know what? It's a
I
good way to
cannot.
channel negative energy. Right?
Yeah, it's good.
I don't have any negative energy. I don't know
You
what you're
need
talking
2
about. Don't look at me.
Fitbits.
All right, question number 3.
Question number 3. How many people die daily nationwide due to auto accidents?
I'll go first here. I said 87 people die nationally due to an auto accident. Gretchen Ortiz?
I went very loyally on this one. I put a lot.
A lot. Okay.
Oh hell! I put 100,000.
100,000 per day. I'll go ahead and give myself that point. What is the right answer?
Whoa. Yeah, 3,200.
3,200 per day? And really?
So I won.
I was a little off.
Oh, jeez. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I get the point at least.
Yeah, you do.
You get
But
the
I
point?
mean,
What?
yeah.
Because
Did
he
I get a
actually
lot?
said a number.
Yeah, but it was a lot.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
was a
that is
lot. That's right. Okay, we'll talk about it later. All right, one
Let's start
final
an argument here.
one final question for Stump the Clarky Tuesday night. Brianna, go ahead.
What percentage of Americans lack a will or estate plan?
Gretchen Ortiz, back to you.
75%.
75%. Pretty good answer, Allie Mack.
I said 82.
82%. Another good answer. I went a little bit lower with 70%. Brianna, what is the right answer?
60%.
60%. Justin Clark pulls ahead and takes the victory
Unbelievable.
tonight. Can you believe it? I didn't
our
think
guest
Hey,
supposed
folks,
to
thank
win?
you
Our
so
guest
much
is
for being
supposed
with
to
us.
win. Shame on you.
Clarky, let's get out of here, buddy. My stomach thinks my
Yeah,
throat's
he was
cut.
there. He
I'm
was speaking.
starving.
He was speaking. He was
Thanks.
speaking.
Thanks for
I
playing.
can make an
Stump the-
argument, lawyerly argument, that he was speaking.
I was definitely not peeking. In fact, Brianna did give me a little help on one of them, but I absolutely went to my original answer, Gretchen Ortiz. Joined tonight by attorney Gretchen Ortiz. She handles personal injury and real estate issues. Your office is located where?
College Park.
College Park. I like that area. Any new restaurants going up down there or what?
You know, there's this new restaurant called Rustic. I haven't been.
Yeah.
But it was packed the other night.
Right.
I mean, there was a line outside. I'm like, what's going on?
How do you balance? You have how many kids?
3.
3 kids.
So 22,
Oh,
20,
okay.
and 13.
Oh, see, I didn't think you were old enough to have children that age. No, I figured.
you.
I
Thank
figured you
you.
had. I figured you had kids at home who were younger, kind of like
Thank
I
you,
do.
Justin.
But it is tough. How did you balance, being a lawyer, running your own firm, and raising a family?
I will have to say, for me, it's my kid and I. You know, the 13-year-old
Yeah.
is the only one living with me at this moment. He and I, we talk a lot, and so he understands. So when I say I can't be home at this time, but I'll be home tomorrow earlier, so I try to balance it out with time. So if I can't make it on a particular day, I'll try to get another day of the week or give him the weekend and stuff like that.
Your questions about real estate and personal injury will be answered on one final segment of Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando.
Nice.
Okay, you're back on social media.
Contracts. I've had a lot of people call me for the past 2 weeks about contracts. They just business contract, commercial contracts, residential contracts. There is a difference between commercial and residential contracts.
Okay, you ready?
Let's do it.
Do it.
Now back to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
Welcome back to the show. One final segment ahead of Behind the Law for a Tuesday night. Go Magic tonight. Gonna hopefully bring home a
Go
2-0
Magics.
victory. So let me tell you how this works, Allie Mack. anytime you have a 7-game series like this, it means the first team to win 4 wins the series.
Yes.
So the team that's ranked higher, essentially, the first 2 games are always played at their house, right? So that's why the first 2 games are in Toronto. But now that the Magic have already won 1, they essentially steal back home court advantage. So just stealing 1 game up there is good because now the Magic technically have home court advantage. But if they could go up there and win 2, that would mean 3 out of the next 5 games will be, in Orlando essentially. So it would be huge to come back with 2, obviously, especially considering the Magic were pretty big underdogs in the series. So what do you think? Let's go predictions around the room real quick. The beautiful Brianna, do the Magic win tonight or lose?
Put that out there.
So she thinks they're going to lose, obviously. Gretchen Ortiz.
I think they're going to win.
Allie Mack.
I think they're totally going to dominate.
Yeah, I mean, I love the
whole
positive
series.
energy, but it's going to be. I see almost no way for them to go up there and win again. But even coming back 1-1 is a victory in itself. But it's going to be a really tough game tonight up in Toronto.
I think they come a long way, so we're finally getting a team that's actually winning and playing good.
I do like how they play. These guys play hard. They're coming along and really well coached, So it's been a long time since we've had a decent basketball team here in town. And it's really our only pro sports team out of the 3 major sports. I realize Orlando City's here. So our one major sports team from the 3 major sports playing well, it really sort of changes the vibe. Now, if they could make a deep run in the playoffs, you'll start to feel a real buzz around town. And then there will be a fight to get tickets.
I think you're actually wearing your Orlando Magic blue today, actually. Subliminally.
Absolutely.
I'm cheering and rooting for them this evening.
Absolutely.
Positive energy.
Joined tonight by attorney Gretchen Ortiz. Gretchen, now, you don't just handle PI, you don't just handle real estate, you do other things as well. What other areas of law do you focus on?
Well, people say it's a different area of law. For me, it's kind of within the real estate, and it's contracts.
Okay.
So a lot of people, they don't want to pay an attorney to review their contracts. They sign, they get into things, and then once they want to get out, something happens, the relationship didn't go the way they wanted, and now, of course, to litigate this contract is going to cost them way more than it would have cost them to just send it to me, email it to me, let me review it, charge you for that, and that's it, and move on. You make the decision.
What kind of issues do you really see pop up after the fact that someone's both parties have signed the contract? What are some typical issues you see come up?
Typical issues. So one of the biggest issues is people think that residential and commercial contracts are the same, and they're not. Residential contracts are more protected. There's more legal requirements with residential contracts than with commercial contracts. With commercial contracts, the law kind of thinks that they're both on the same level of negotiation, when the truth is it's not. Sometimes you have just people that are trying to lease a commercial or buying a commercial space, and they don't know anything about it. And so that's one of the main problems that I see is that people don't know the difference between a residential and a commercial contract.
What are those differences?
The differences is, for example, in a residential, when you're buying a property, the realtor or the seller, they have to disclose everything that is materially wrong with the property, whereas in a commercial contract, there's no such requirement. Zoning requirements, permitting. I mean, some of those things are not, they're not spelled out in the contract. Those are things that you have to do on your own, do your own due diligence. And unfortunately, many people don't know that. And so they get into this contract, 5-year, 3-year contracts. They don't negotiate. They don't negotiate any of the terms of the contract or conditions. And then they see themselves just with tons and thousands of dollars that they have to pay to get out of it.
I'm selling my home in College Park, and I know that there was a triple homicide that happened in the house 12 years ago. Do I have to disclose?
No, not that.
Wow.
What are the things that I do have to disclose as a seller?
Well, I mean, if your roof, of course, if there was water damage to your roof and it fell off and then you put a new one, you have to disclose that. Termite damage, you have to disclose that. Anything that can affect the value of the property, you have to disclose.
Any floods, fires.
That's correct.
Things like that.
That triple homicide.
Triple homicide, no big deal.
No big deal.
It's not really a big deal, I guess.
No, you wouldn't even know.
I want to know that.
I mean, I once went to buy a home that I was getting ready to flip, and I saw red dots on the walls, and I was like, "What is this?"
I wonder if those paintballs.
But there was a house. It was a homicide.
Seriously?
There had been a homicide in the property, and I was like, "What? I didn't even know." And I just saw those red dots. I thought it was just decoration, like people just have this red decorations.
Really?
Yes, because it looked like it had just been splattered. And the colors kind of match, so I didn't think anything of it until afterwards I found out. I was
like, a lot of times when someone goes to sell a home, they'll do a quick paint job just to, make it feel good in there. You'd think if there was a homicide, you would definitely
change the wall.
You would definitely do that paint job.
They erase the chalk.
You know what I mean?
At least clean it up. Have a company come on and clean it up and do all that.
And this isn't a test. What if I believe there are ghosts in my home? Do I need to disclose that?
You don't.
Really?
You don't need to disclose that.
From all the homicides.
But with
But
it's a friendly ghost.
But
it's not a creepy one. It's not a
Why are you suing me? I didn't tell you it was a ghost. My God. It's a nice ghost.
There was something in the news about that the other day where a lady was saying that this ghost kept coming into her bed every night trying to do things to her.
No.
And she was trying to sue the broker for that. I'm like, well. That's not the
Can you do that? Can you do that? Legally?
I mean,
would you be
they'll
able
try.
to have
They'll try, but I mean.
Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando, Justin Clark, Allie Mack, the beautiful Brianna. We're interviewing attorney Gretchen Ortiz, talking about real estate. And let's keep it with real estate a little bit. There are many states where you go to buy a home that you have to have a lawyer do the closing for you. You have to be represented by an attorney. There are states like that. New York's one. I believe Massachusetts, where I used to live.
Most states are.
Here, you don't. I mean, in fact, most people do not get a lawyer when you go to buy or sell a house. Now, this is an important transaction, probably the biggest transaction of your life. What is your recommendation about using an attorney to help through that process or not?
Well, we do closings in our office as well. And so I always say, in choosing a title company and an attorney, with an attorney, you're getting more value for your buck, because title agents they don't hold a law degree. They just hold a state license. And, anything that comes up in title that's legal, they still have to reach out to an attorney. They have to call out. So I've been on both ends, because I had a title company as a title agent and now as an attorney. And I see now as an attorney how important it would have been for clients to have an attorney review all the documentation, lender documentations and all of that prior to closing.
You were a real estate agent before becoming an attorney. I imagine you kept your real estate license, or no?
Yes.
Okay, so you know a lot about real estate, more than a lot.
Title agent, real estate, mortgage broker.
You've been around. You've been around the block when it comes to real estate.
That's correct.
Well, what do you advise someone when a client comes in and they say, "Look, I'm about to sell my home, but I want to go to the local Ace Hardware and buy a for sale by owner, put it in my front yard. I'm going to do it myself. I want to do a for sale by owner. Should I or should I not?"
You should not, especially during these days. I mean, with everything that's going on, the crimes, everything that's going on, I wouldn't do it. And if you have valuable in your homes, family pictures, kids, I mean, you just don't want to put yourself in that position. You will either have to be there every single time somebody wants to see the home, or you will just be letting people go into your house and just, you don't even know if these people are qualified, if they have a letter from a lender or, anything to show you that they have the cash, whereas a realtor has the duty to do all of those things.
I've never thought about it from that angle. I've always thought about it more like, I agree with you 100%, but I agree that the realtors typically can get you, I feel like they can get you better value than just doing it by yourself. There's no doubt. I mean, they have access to the MLS and all sorts of things. So, but I've never looked at it as a safety issue. And I think that's a very good point, that now you're in charge of bringing all these strangers into your home, and you got to be there every time, and you're not really pre-qualifying them. So I've never looked at it as a safety issue, but I tend to agree with that. Gretchen Ortiz, one more time, phone number, website, if you want to reach out to a great attorney. Gretchen Ortiz.
407-627-1797, and the website is www.gretchenortizlaw.com.
Good job tonight. Allie Mack, how'd she do?
She did great. Are you kidding me?
You guys are buddies, right?
She's one of my really good friends.
Oh,
yes.
yeah. So that's kind of cheating then, I guess, too.
What do you mean?
I mean,
I didn't peek at her answers. I didn't peek.
I tried to get her answers, but she just wouldn't give it up.
You were giving hand signals. I knew something was going on. I didn't realize you guys were like really, really good friends.
We are.
All right, I would have separated you two if I would have known that.
More than separation.
Why?
Is this?
That's what makes it fun.
All right,
double the trouble.
Let's go Magic tonight. Bring it home 2-0 for the beautiful Brianna. For Gretchen Ortiz, Allie Mack, I don't know much, but I do know one little thing.
What's that?
I'm going to see you right back here tomorrow night on ESPN 580 Orlando. Good job. That was fun.
Go Magic.
So you.